The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to a special comically long review. It is the end of an era, my friends. The second ongoing Power Rangers comic from Boom Studios, the one pitched as a young adult closer examination of the Rangers' lives in a way that almost kept me from giving it a chance, now ends as a more than worthy aspect of the franchise. So how does this closer magnifying glass type examination of the Rangers come to a close? Let's find out by taking a look at Go-Go Power Rangers issue number 32, the final issue. Please make sure you're subscribed to my channel to see all of my videos. Ring the bell, get your notifications set up so you're notified whenever I post brand new ones. And if you'd like to lend any financial support to the channel, consider checking me out on Patreon or Ko-fi at Orange Ranger Videos. This time, both the yearbook and album covers fit in with wrapping things up with a nice class photo. I overcomplicated the album cover search this time, including all of the fine details. Turns out, all I needed to search for was album cover class to find out this is referencing the Pulp album Different Class. Senior class group photo for the yearbook cover with the 9 Rangers as well as Bulk and Skull. Interestingly, Kimberly is wearing a pink pantsuit instead of a dress. I'm not judging, it looks great, I'm just saying. The main cover has the 3 Omega Rangers morphed under the head of the Blue Emissary, going between, of all things, Megaforce Blue and Super Megaforce Blue. Maybe it's their way of saying that this series has no more issues.
Get out of my office!
And as promised, this was a connecting cover with the main cover of issue number 31. The Boom comics have danced around portraying the events of the TV show, tending to fill in the gaps instead. Well, this is the finale, and this is a major part of the story, so let's just get this out of the way. This entire issue is a retelling of the power transfer, with the smaller personal details we've come to know. The Rangers find the Sword of Light on the deserted planet, so I guess this is the Abandoned Planet District, and Billy realizes the ring around their map is an actual ring that goes on the statue's finger, releasing the sword. Serpentera attacks, the Rangers teleport away, the planet explodes. Good thing it was deserted. Tommy presents the Sword of Light to Zordon, and he and Alpha congratulate them. Kim doesn't feel much like celebrating, seeing as Lord Zed has a massive dragon Super Zord. Billy gets to work on the transfer. So on the show, the old Rangers were tempted to stay because of this. You might remember that one of the worst dubbed lines in the show's history was somebody that was supposed to be trainee expressing this concern. But here, they volunteer to stay and help train the new Rangers. But Jason butts in, saying Tommy's the leader, he should train them, and they are going to stay out of the way. He agrees, saying it's time to see if the newbies have what it takes. We see that they sure do, because after 10 tries, Rocky finally got his new locker open. The Stone Canyon trio are adjusting to life at Angel Grove High, which includes Bulk and Skull, who ask the newbies, Ricky, Albert, and Alicia, to give their thoughts on the Rangers. Skull asks if they are super sentries defending the planet, interesting phrasing there, Skull, or space spies. Rocky basically tells them to buzz off, they have to go, and the two see the 3 newbies as just as dorky as the old guys. But it makes Aisha think about how they are going to be Power Rangers. The 3 are all psyched up for it, even if Rocky doesn't know where the word Zords came from. Did you know that in the pilot, when Zordon was called Zoltar, the Zords were called Dino Droids? This image at the bottom was released as a preview for the issue, and it's an evocative moment. As the 3 go their separate ways for class, they know that tomorrow, they become superheroes. Jason is standing outside the command center that night when Tommy walks out. They have ironic small talk, Tommy wondering what's out there in space, where Jason has been and is now headed. Then Tommy gets to it, telling Jason not to go through with the power transfer. He says they need the 3 of them there. but Jason says there are more important things for them to do. Tommy points out the irony that we all did at the time. A peace conference is kind of meaningless if Zed destroys the planet. Jason tries to say that there's a reason for this that Tommy will maybe one day understand, but Tommy says it's because Jason is scared. He knows that running away like this is wrong, or he would have told Tommy himself instead of letting him see it on the news. Nice continuity with the show, but it does raise a question. If the peace conference was a ruse so the three could go into space, how did they get it on the news? Tommy reads Jason the riot act as we see the power transfer take place. How when he lost his powers, they begged him to stay, so he did everything he could to come back to them. But now these three are volunteering to give up their powers when they are needed the most. He never thought he'd see them run away and give up the fight. But hey, have a great time in Switzerland, buddy. Zed has made it back to Earth, laughing about the three departing Rangers that will one day seal him in a dumpster. Babu is thrilled he's not mad about the dagger anymore, but Zed says he only moved on from that because of Serpentera, future plans, and the fact that Grace was forced to destroy it. Or was she?
Suspense.
Nah, like I said last time, Billy made this pretty obvious, and he heads to Promethea to confirm his suspicions. The dagger powers everything. Grace would never destroy it, but she would be ready to make it look like she did. She shows him the dagger and asks if there's any way he can keep this from Zordon. I love his response. 3 of my friends just left the Power Rangers. I watched Lord Zed destroy an entire world. It's not even Wednesday. I'd like to propose a deal. Basically, he'll stay quiet if she helps him with an experiment. The Rangers meet up to say their goodbyes. Trini and Kim talk about boys and how Kim knew something was going on with the 3. Billy is jealous of Zach for all kinds of geeky reasons. Jason talks to the new kids, telling them to trust their friends, their instincts, and when in doubt, form the Power Blaster. Words that they clearly took to heart, seeing as they never did that. The 3 board the Spectrum, ready to start their new life. They note how they feel empty, having been disconnected from the morphing grid. Zach decides to fill that gap with food, which G might have forgotten to bring or being sarcastic about it, and they hope the Rangers on Earth will be okay. And suddenly, Eye Guy is here. The Rangers get to work, and the newbies start making one eye pun after another, seemingly fitting right in as Power Rangers. But just as they seem to be getting really into it, Tommy ends the simulation. The new Rangers are confused, but Kim climbs down their necks for not taking training seriously. They can let loose with the puns when they have a few monsters under their belts. Until then, they need to take this seriously. Time for another ceremony. The Blue Emissary brings the former Rangers to Eternity Point on Safe Haven. He gives them the Omega Gauntlets from a chest, telling them about a team of Rangers a millennia ago that patrolled the edges of space with the ancient primal powers of wind and earth, fire and water. They never found a Heart Ranger, though, which is a shame because they could never form the Captain Planet Megazord. The emissary says the powers were interpreted as a magical form of alchemy, but the Rangers know the truth. I'm guessing that truth is that it's really the morphing grid. They never explain what that actually is. Trini, resilient and logical, you will become the Yellow Omega Ranger. Zach, gregarious and bold, you will become the Black Omega Ranger. Jason, dauntless and resourceful, you will become the Red Omega Ranger. And Kaya, ambitious and powerful, you will become the Blue Omega Ranger. Together, you are this universe's last line of defense. You are the Omega Rangers. Note how he called Kaya ambitious, by the way. Their Zords are among the oldest creations in history, which is why they look ugly. I mean, like aliens that are ugly. Seriously, they say these Zords are awesome, but to me, they're absolutely hideous. Tommy has taken the new kids to the juice bar for a heart-to-heart. He knows what they're going through, having been the new guy on the team twice. He knows they feel like outsiders, but they're gonna get through this together. Because Rangers don't run away from their problems. That's interrupted by their call to duty. Lord Zed has released the Danger Dingo on Sydney, Australia, and it has absolutely eaten someone's baby. The four morph and teleport down under. Trini and Zach find Jason taking a cell phone pic, and he comments that eventually they have to show the other Rangers this view. Well, I don't think they ever get to on that ship, at least not all of them. The new Ranger energy has them amped up. Jason feels it too, grateful to them for coming along, and says they are exactly where they should be. Kaya tells the Rangers it's time for a mission, cracking her knuckles in a way that definitely doesn't pose any concerns. This is a great sequence as we get the two fights in parallel. The Omega Rangers are fighting a level 3 empowered that looks like a thin beast from X-Men. Tommy and Jason lead their teams into battle as the fight goes ever on. But this series comes to an end. It's kind of hard for me to comment on this issue. It feels like a somewhat unintentional ending, kind of like how Star Trek Enterprise very suddenly comes to an end with an event that's established in the franchise's canon, the founding of the Federation. This is the natural place for this story to end because everything from here on has been covered in the main line, but that actually brings up my problem. Is it just me, or has Go-Go always felt like the other series, the redheaded stepchild of the Boom Power Rangers comics? Do not get me wrong, during Beyond the Grid, which no, I'm never going to pull my punches about, Go-Go was carrying the comics, but it just feels like it only existed to fill in some gaps in the story, which the main line was already doing. We got some pretty interesting stories out of it. The color swap arc is the main one that comes to mind for me. And Go-Go's back and forth storytelling aspect allowed them to fill in some very deep cut way back in the past backstory, even referencing Masked Rider to do so. In the end though, I'm just left wondering what the point of this series was. Besides telling some good stories, which it did, was it always meant to be just 32 issues? Or has something else brought it to a premature end? In the end, as far as this individual issue itself, I did like it. It's just that winding the story back to one like it is means that there are no real surprises. We meet the 3 new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, who we already knew about. We see the formation of the Omega Rangers, which we already knew about. It was just kind of impossible for this story not to end on an anticlimax. Go-Go Power Rangers issue number 32 gets a 4 out of 5. And now I'm left to score the entire Go-Go Power Rangers series as a whole. With a 32 issue maxi series, if you will, that was the second ongoing comic for a while, this feels a little hard to do. It's not like Go-Go Power Rangers had one ongoing coherent storyline. It went through Shattered Grid, just like the main line. It did the time jump, just like the main line. It had the Alpha 1 story, the color swap story, etc., etc. It feels like a more series of interesting stories that it did tell well. Overall, I think this more magnified look at the Rangers' lives served its purpose and did tell some pretty entertaining stories. The 32 issues of Go-Go Power Rangers collectively get a 4 out of 5. Next time on a comically long review, well, one good ending deserves another, right? We've had to wait a little bit longer for it, but it's time to finally see how the teenagers with attitude and the heroes in half shell deal with Green Ranger Shredder and Rita. So tune in for issue number 5, the finale of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is going to do it for another comically long review. Heroes, thank you so much as always for watching. Now that the video's over, you can let me know down in the comments below what you thought not only of this issue in my review of it, but of Go-Go Power Rangers as a whole. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. Please stay safe. If you have to go outside, make sure you're staying safe. Try to stay inside if you still can. And until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. It is the end of an era, my friends. This is the story. The Rangers find the Sword of Light on the deserted planet. The The Rangers find the Sword of Light on the okay. The Rangers find the Sword of Light on the deserted why is that so hard to say? She shows him the dagger and asks if there's any way if he can keep the Zach decides to fill that gap with food, Zach decides to fill that gap with food, which Z might have Next time on a comically long review, well, one good ending deserves another, right? We've had to wait